Welcome once again, folks, to another session of Let's Chat with me, Meor Addelan. How important is PR to any companies out there? And to discuss more about how important PR is, I have a very special guest with me today. Ladies and gents, may I introduce to you Mr. Xavier Ma. Hi, Xavier. You as a PR consultant, maybe you can actually share with our viewers what actually is PR.
Okay, if you Google public relations, the first thing will pop up, with the images of confident individuals shaking hands, making connection, and having fun with their jobs. Everyone starts out confidence until reality kicks in. True is, this picture you see is just the tip of the iceberg of public relations practitioner life. Simply put, public relations help businesses and or individual build a confidence reputation through earned media. So for businesses, the easy example would be marketing. My product is good. Advertising would be my product is good, my product is good, my product is good. PR, trust me, this product is good. So PR gains and maintain trust in consumers through authentic storytelling and strategic communication efforts. Yeah.
All right. So basically, what you're saying that PR is just a person or a group or a department which their major contribution is to have that great writing skills, a great storytelling skills to tell the public. Hence, what is public relations? To tell the public on how great a company or a certain product is. Is that what it takes to be a PR consultant or to be a PR person? Just the ability to have a good storytelling technique?
And again, Mio, I have to correct you as in writing and storytelling is a huge part of PR, but they're not everything. PR deals a lot of human relations, and the most challenging part is build good relationship, be it with the media, clients, or the public, and to maintain this relationship to in the long run. And when pitching a story to the media, writing a nice story alone doesn't guarantee your story will be featured on these publications or the media channels. It is the vital to research, analyze, and identify the best story angles that journalists, the audience are looking for. Apart from that, I think PR is all about working well under pressure. When organizing campaigns, catching up with the deadlines, and the worst case is the crisis breaker, PR practitioners cannot afford to crack to the under pressure.
In this day and age right now, PR is more important than ever, because if you look back 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, there's not really any engagement that a company or a person that can have with the audiences, with the public, because of lack of channels. But now the existence of social media specifically, it has transformed the image or the idea of having PR is very, very crucial, isn't it, Xavier?
Yeah, as you are absolutely right. I give you examples our deputy minister of the Minister of Women's actually releasing a video about taking care the family well. A very good motivation video during this MCO. Unfortunately, a lot of people misinterpret the message without watching the entire video, and it creates and it becomes like a chaos and a lot of people bombarded the deputy minister with a lot of nasty messages. But then again, the corporate com did not actually come up with a message immediately right after this video. And it's actually I noticed that a lot of media houses actually coming out with different statements, different stories. And again, if let's say the corporate com actually came out a statement immediately right after the video, it could save the reputation.
Just being a PR person, it doesn't just take that intelligence to write the story or to be able to communicate back to the public, but the understanding of the situation and how quickly you should adjust or being reactive in a certain ways is also quite crucial in being a good PR person.
You are absolutely right. Right after I watched the videos, I quickly, wrote an email to the related and relevant media houses to tell them about their reporting, or probably the headline is not right, and again, one of the media, actually Nanyang Shangpao, actually releasing an articles about telling the truth and getting the netizen to watch the video before make the judgment.
Does that mean that 80% of the time, the PR people, the one that you've hired to portray that good image image, all they have to do is just firefighting, because that's what people just do, isn't it? I mean, like, you screw up one way or another and the PR people can just cover it up.
I think, after all, it is like, we are helping the thought leaders, the leaders, to actually shaping a good reputation, image. But then again, it's like, I want like to highlight this. This is not all the times we can actually to save the fire, but the thing is like it also lies on the communication, and also the way, the leaders, how they communicate.
But unfortunately, if you look at the SMEs right now, if you look at new business owners right now, they tend to neglect how important PR is. They spend a lot on sales, they spend a lot on marketing, but they spend a lot on branding, but not really much into PR. And
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you think this is fair, that they don't really consider PR as an important thing, or are they not doing things correctly, to your opinion, Xavier?
Okay, whichever industry you are in, I would say trust plays a huge role in your business. And for example, you always like use extra detergents because you trust in their quality. You always buy clothes from the same brand because you already know they are actually standard quality is what you're looking for. And I would say sales and marketing may be considered the profit center of the company, but PR will be laying down the trust foundations of your company that will earn your most loyal customers.
And the problem is that is what I'm saying this, why I actually gave you that question, is because normally, I mean, as far as I could see at least, that PR work, should you hire an outside consultant, it is not cheap. I mean, I'm not even putting it as affordable. Sometimes it is so expensive just for you to have a one pager, or a statement, or whatever it is. Is it true that a lot of SMEs and micro business owners, the reason why they don't want to have PR is because they can't afford it? And why are PR work so expensive? Is that true, Xavier?
Okay, I understand that. Many companies will feel the pressure of investing $1,000s into PR, something that they might not particularly be familiar with. But I would suggest that these companies and businesses owners take the time to talk to the PR agency to really understand what they can really offer. Sometimes some services may not be what your company needs, so it's good to take a look at what services will be included for that huge sum of money. Then you can customize the plans and services based on your needs. And on the other suggestion that I would give the focus on the short-term goals is, if signing a retainer plan is way out of your budget, I would say that work around what you want to achieve in the coming 3 months, or just this particular project, and do not actually see PR as expensive, services. And again, understand first before you make any conclusions.
So what you're saying is that people who have experience already in businesses, they can they are only the ones who can afford PR. But I'm talking about the fact that there's this companies where they just open up a year or a couple of years, they've done so much, they have put in so much money in their branding, in their packaging, in their product awareness and everything. Where do PR come in play? Yes, is it just about just telling a story about the brand? Because brand consultants can do that as well, can't they?
Mhm. And then I would say that the brand consultants in PR is a different word. And like I put it this way, if you have good products, people do not know. So what for? People do not know. You need a PR to help you to create the awareness, create the publicity, create the visibility, so that people know about your services, know about your products. And it's not about, like, as I mentioned earlier, advertising is all about telling people so that you could actually put an ad. People would actually see that your product is good, is your good. What about getting media and people to talk about your product is good? I would say that story is more authentic. It is more relevant to the current market.
Malaysia specifically, where do you think Malaysia stands in regards of having good PR ability amongst the companies, specifically the SMEs, or even the major companies as well? I mean, like, because my example is that, because if you see the Americans, for instance, should whatever happens to a certain brand, it is almost just like that. Somebody actually comes up from the company and saying that, okay, we have worked on this, we are doing something about this, we are trying to assist on the matter at hand. Is Malaysia on that standard? Are we that quick? Are we that good in responding to such things? Xavier?
I would say that's like for PR industry, Malaysia is actually far, compared to Europe countries, compared to Western countries. I would say that because when I actually traveled to overseas for some work assignments, I realized that every single PR actually carrying out with their laptops, along, so that they could actually, quickly write a press release sent to the media houses. I would say in Malaysia, wise basically is pretty slow, and I wouldn't say slow, but I would say the response and also the reactions is not as efficient as it is.
So basically, Malaysians are just nicer then, because we don't really say that many bad things about the brand versus the Westerners. Are we just, fooling ourselves? Are we just kidding ourselves? Are we that nice, Xavier, as public?
I think like Malaysians, I would say Asian people actually is like not that nasty if compared to Europe countries, and but I wouldn't say in the nasty in a such a way that they're actually more daring in terms of like sharing their opinions. And because in Malaysia, it's like, or probably if we are good, we are so shy to tell people we are good. We're kind of very conservative and kind of reserved, in telling people, if your product is good, no, like it's okay, we don't want to tell people that our product is good, let the product speak by itself. But then again, in this reality, you have to get people to help you to amplify your message, to make sure your product, your services to be heard, to be tried, by the people.
There was a fiasco about a certain logo or a certain poster being brought out that was ridiculed so bad because of something that the owners of the poster may not have noticed earlier. But how do you think that was handled on the PR sense, on the PR's point of view? Was it handled well?
To be honest, I don't think it is handled well, because even releasing the video, I think the team should actually to study and also to ask third opinions before releasing the video. Because when I look at the video, it's so obvious is something not right. I would say, but then again, it's like it's out. I couldn't comment much about this, but then again, I would say the way that they manage and handle the crisis not that well.
Okay, but for instance, like what would you have done should this happen to you and you are the one responsible to handle the PR of the company?
I would say, first and foremost, I would say that's like, we would discuss the relevant department to actually to rectify the issue and identify what goes wrong. And the thing is, we kind of like quickly releasing a statement what had happened, and again, if that's the mistake, the mistake that have done by the department, I guess it's important to admit the mistake and also to actually to change it immediately. Because when you keep defending, oh, we are right, that would be like create more issues and more, chaos, for the issue, and people will not accept your kind of explanation because it's so obvious. It's a wrong. It probably is a wrong typo, or probably is a wrong graphic.
Yeah, sometimes again, creativity is sometimes different from your eyes versus my eyes. So I don't know. It's just how you present it. One last question I have for you, Xavier, before we leave. What kind of advice that you can actually give to all business owners out there? Again, especially to the SME business owners, the micro business owners. What can you tell them of the importance of having PR even at the infancy of their business, Xavier?
Okay. No matter how small your business, the reputation and the brandings of your company can make and break your business. And one bad speech, or probably speech, or one crisis not getting the attention deserved, all this will eventually lead to the downfall of the companies. And that's a common misconceptions now, that PR and branding is all about promoting yourself. That's absolutely wrong. And PR and branding is all about positioning your brand strategically to gain the attention, trust, and loyalty, of your customers. Furthermore, PR and branding is an ongoing journey. So consider PR your new best friends if you have not already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all about adjusting and also preparing one's organization to make sure that PR is relevant, because, as you said, it's ongoing and it never stops because it represents you and your brand as well. Xavier,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on to the show. Really appreciate your insights on how important PR is and what it does and why we need it moving forward. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting.
All right, cheers. And that was Xavier Ma, folks, talking to us about getting public with relations and how important it is for you to include this exercise, and not just at the beginning, also in the middle, and also at the end throughout the whole time, because it represents your branding, it tells a story, and it helps you in more ways that you can actually imagine. Thank you so much for watching this particular episode. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care now. Goodbye.